Man, I can't believe that this McQueen has been around for more than a decade. Man, I'm getting pretty old. Yeah, for sure. But hey guys, welcome back to another Lightning McQueen review. It seems that Lightning McQueen does very well on my channel. Every time I post a Lightning McQueen review, it usually gets pretty good views, especially for my channel. Usually my channel doesn't really particularly do well in views, probably because of the YouTube algorithm and how bad that thing is sometimes. And usually your videos don't really get advertised that well. That probably is the case. But it seems that Lightning McQueen is probably like, trending right now because of the 20th anniversary of Cars and how, McQueen is like obviously the center of the franchise. So it kind of makes sense why McQueen's probably the most popular character and why, many people actually tune into those videos. But yeah, that's why I'm making another Lightning McQueen review. But let me know in the comments what other characters you guys want me to review besides McQueen. You guys want me to review like Radiator Springs characters like Doc, Mater, Sally, or any other characters, or maybe even background characters. Just let me know in the comments, because it's gonna be long before I kind of run out of McQueen's. Unless if I end up finding the 20th anniversary ones, then we'll review those for sure. But anyways, today we'll be focusing on Silver Lightning McQueen, the 2013 version specifically. But anyways, I'm not rambling. Let's get on with it. So this McQueen was only released back in 2013 in the Kmart collectors events. So basically, these Kmart collectors events, remember Kmart? Yeah, I have some very interesting stories of my experiences with Kmart. But Kmart was that kind of similar to like, Walmart or Target, but a little bit more downscale in comparison to those two. So back in the day, Kmart used to do collectors events for Hot Wheels and of course Disney cars, and they would do a lot of these. But unfortunately, they just wouldn't particularly do that well because they only mainly focus on targeting towards collectors and not really the general public. So that's why not many people really showed up to these events. I never got to go to any of these events because they either I wasn't really I really either I was not on the internet at the time, or I wouldn't know about it. But the only one I knew about was the Cars 3 one. But at that point, my Kmart had already closed earlier that year in 2017. So, yeah, it kind of was disappointing. But, yeah, this Silver Lightning McQueen was a part of the 2013 one alongside a gold Repliskonsky. And if you bought, a certain amount of cars, you end up taking picture of the card backs and the UPC and your receipt. You would receive either, I think, a Yvonne or another character. I don't remember. I'll put up the two pictures of the cards that you would receive, and maybe even a John Lasseter, I believe, also. But yeah, this McQueen was a part of the event, and yeah, that was pretty much his only release until randomly, just in 2020, they decided to re-release this specific version of McQueen. But there was one interesting detail about that version of McQueen that we'll get into later on. But yeah, that's pretty much it for his releases. Only released twice, and that was it. But anyways, let's just get on with the review. So you guys probably know where this version of McQueen appears in the movie. Obviously, it's the main paint job of the first one. But obviously, the only difference between this McQueen and your classic McQueen right here is, of course, it's this time the red is substitute with silver. So pretty much everything besides the decals were painted in silver. So obviously you got the Rusty's logo. Obviously you got McQueen's iconic expression. You got the 95. You got lightning bolts. You got silver rims over the red rims, or red wheels over the silver wheels, which they look pretty nice. Obviously you got the contingency sponsors, the same ones that your ordinary Lightning McQueen has. You got the 95 Rusty's gas cap wasn't printed on correctly. Yeah, this was back then when Mattel didn't clearly didn't know how to print those correctly, but thankfully they have fixed that situation. You also got your Lightning McQueen signature, 95. Same thing on the other side. You got the Rusty's logo. This was during the time when they finally did put the Rusty's decals. This was like 4 years into that. Yeah, Rusty's Medicated Bumper Ointment, Rookie Stripe, and yeah, when was this guy produced? The 220th day of 2013. Dang, Disney Pixar made in China, Mattel, and that other mumbo jumbo, and that's pretty much it for this McQueen. Pretty short review, but let's compare it to the original. So obviously, this is a Vietnam version. This isn't an original China one. I didn't pull out that one, unfortunately. Obviously, decals are going to be the same except for the paint, of course, and the wheels different color. But besides that, yeah, it's just your ordinary Lightning McQueen. And on the topic of that, let's just talk about that other version of Silver McQueen. Apparently, when Silver McQueen was re-released in 2020, obviously it was a Cars 1 paint job. But the interesting thing about it is that for some reason, the tail light, the 95 had the Hudson Hornet piston cup version of that 95 logo with the little lightning bolt instead of the ordinary 95 that's on the Cars 1 version. So many collectors probably thought maybe they originally were going to release Hudson Hornet piston cup McQueen, the silver version, and re-release that version from 2013 also, which has become very rare and desirable because it was only released in Europe for some reason. So probably us in the US probably got this version, and people in Europe got the other version, and obviously that one became more rare. But I don't know how much this McQueen goes for nowadays. I got it for a reasonable price on eBay. I didn't get to go to the Kmart collectors events, but on the topic of Kmart, obviously I have like two interesting stories. So the first interesting thing is my experiences with Kmart. So the first time I went to Kmart was back in 2009. It was like 2009 or 2010. Might have been 2011, like early 2011. But this was during the time when obviously Kmart was doing the Kmart collectors events and we're doing the rubber tire stuff. And I remember seeing a big bin. If I could find a picture of it, Kmart's would always have big bins of just straight up the rubber tire cars, and they would have them, and I would dig around them just to find a Lightning McQueen because I really wanted the piston cup racers, but my mom obviously wouldn't buy them for me because at this time she didn't think I was going to take care of my cars. I was not going to have a big collection like I do now. So thanks a lot, Mom. But I still love my mom though. I give her a lot of credit for helping me out collecting, and obviously she has been supportive of me in terms of collecting and other stuff in my life. I really appreciate her for that. But yeah, but back then obviously she didn't want me to have like a big collection because obviously I was going to destroy them, not take care of them, and just fall out of it. But no, but obviously I would try to find a rubber tire McQueen, but I never would find one, probably because it wasn't real. That rubber tire McQueen wouldn't come out until literally like early 2011, like right before Cars 2 came out, and I would never find it. And obviously I wanted the piston racers, but obviously that was not gonna happen. The second story I have about Kmart was when I went to Kmart like in 2016, right, like a year before they started closing. I remember wanting to go to the car section, but my mom also prohibited me from that because on that same day I literally found the Ruby Easy Oaks and Easy Idol Pity 2-pack from 2015 at Sears. So my mom said like, okay, you could only have one. You can't have any more. So I was like, shoot. And I couldn't go to the car section, but for some random reason, my brothers decided to buy a DVD copy of freaking the movie Barbershop. Remember that movie? Yeah, that movie's kind of hilarious, but for some reason they wanted a DVD copy of it. I don't know why, but they ultimately decided to, and we took it home. Obviously, I didn't know what the movie was because I had never seen it before until literally that day. But yeah, that was kind of my second weird story about not Target, freaking Kmart. And the third thing is, I remember another time of getting like the Little Caesars, like because back then obviously Little Caesars used to be at Kmart's, like before they closed. Man, I miss Kmart a lot because I never really got to experience it, but that place looked pretty nice for separate. Obviously, they had outdated technology. They really didn't update. They really didn't innovate pretty much, and that's why they closed business because they just weren't able to draw in customers. But that's pretty much it. I don't want to really ramble about Kmart. This isn't a video about Kmart. I'll probably do that some other day. Just do like a Kmart collectors events video. You guys want me to? But yeah, let me try to bring in the other silver versions of these of the King and Chick X. Man, let me put McQueen in the middle. Let's have it like that. Boom! There's your picture right there. This looks awesome. I never imagined that we would ever have silver versions of Chick Hicks and the King, but hey, we finally have them. But this is awesome though. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty. Oh shoot, I forgot to mention about this is the other silver McQueen that I have. Obviously, it's very bare bones. This is the Disney 100 version, but honestly, I still prefer the silver on this one. But anyways, thank you guys all for watching. I do really appreciate it, and thank you so much for the support and of that previous video, because it did pretty well, especially since my last videos beforehand didn't particularly do that well. But yeah, I really do appreciate it, and let me know in the comments what other characters you guys want me to review. You guys want me to review like Radiator Springs characters, or like some background characters, or you guys want me to do like video game content. Honestly, I would love to do video game content, or even content about like movies and software that people really don't talk about anymore. But this is mainly a cars channel. But hey, you guys want me to expand, just let me know. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.